Good evening, and welcome to the Post-Meridian Radio Players podcast. I won't tell you my name, for names have power, but the normal host of this podcast is now my servant. Aren't you, child?
Yes, my lady.
Very good. And once I've brought the other mortal into the castle, he will be my servant as well, I promise you. But for now, child, open the vault and let us see what we have on tap for this week's episode.
Of course, my lady.
Ah, yes. The Cask of Amontillado, the work of one of my other servants. Tell them about him, child.
Yes, my lady. Edgar Allan Poe only lived for 40 years, but left behind him an enormously influential body of work, including tales in the Gothic, detective, and even science fiction genres, which continue to influence authors up to this day. Born in Boston in 1807, he lived throughout his life up and down the east coast of the United States and died under mysterious circumstances. Tonight's tale was published in 1846, less than a year before Poe's death, and remains a classic of the horror genre.
Very good, child. Here then is the Post-Meridian Radio Players version of The Cask of Amontillado.
Oh, hello again, my friends. You know, I've been living in this library almost all my life. Decades. But I started out there with the likes of you before I decided I'd be better off alone. Well, I'm not really alone. I've got thousands of friends here. Of course, though they're loaded with words, they don't actually say much. Books. Before I came inside where it's safe, I was picked on. I was. Bullied unmercifully. For those of us in the crosshairs of bullies, every nasty word, every unkind act is seared into our memories. But for the bully, what they've done to us passes from their memory like what they had for breakfast Thursday last. This next story is a cautionary tale for all the bullies out there. Be careful whom you cross. It just might cost you your life. Here now is our last short story for the night. It's thought by many to be Poe's greatest work, though I could never choose myself. It's The Cask of Amontillado.
Friends, one and all, our capable housekeeping staff wishes to inform you that the supper buffet is laid out and is offered with our most humble hospitality, and we hope you've each brought a hearty appetite. I trust a bit of savory roast duck and medallion of lamb will keep you fortified on this New Year's Eve. And please, don't neglect a friendly glass of expertly crafted wine, courtesy of our own Mr. Fortunato.
Don't be shy, everyone. Oh, and for goodness sake, save room for the Lady Baltimore cake. Oh, darling, it's such a pity we have no champagne for the midnight toast.
Ah, my dear, but I hardly think our guests will miss it while we have this delightful local vintage, and the best beer our own cellar has ever produced.
Hear, hear, Mr. Lucrezi.
And Mr. Fortunato, this wine is the cat's pajamas.
I'd gladly sell my soul for a drop of genuine Scottish whiskey.
Now, Mr. Fortunato, wine and beer are one thing, but we certainly wouldn't risk spirits in our house on New Year's Eve when any number of prohibition officers are prowling about.
Mr. Fortunato, pay a visit to the cook's pantry, back cabinet, behind the sugar.
Much obliged, my friend. Oh, you take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore you.
Oh, Mr. Fortunato, you've spilled wine all over your jacket. Let me find you a towel.
Indeed, we don't want to waste a drop. This wine needs to last us until midnight, and the evening is young. Have you ever seen such dancing? What will these young people dream up next?
23 skidoo!
The 1,000 social injuries inflicted by one Mr. Theodore Fortunato I'd endured as best I could. But when he ventured on insult, I vowed my revenge. You who so well know the nature of my soul will not suppose, however, that I uttered any actual threat. At length, I would see myself avenged. This was a point definitely settled. But the very definitiveness with which I was resolved precluded the idea of risk. I must not only punish, but punish with impunity. A wrong is unredressed when retribution overtakes its redresser. It is equally unredressed when the avenger fails to make himself felt as such to him who has done the wrong. Please understand that neither by word nor deed had I given Mr. Fortunato any cause to doubt my goodwill. I continued to smile in his face, and he never perceived that my smile now was at the thought of his immolation. He had a weak point, Mr. Fortunato, although in other regards he was a man to be respected and even feared. He prided himself on his connoisseurship in wine. At the height of the scourge that was the Prohibition Act, few Americans had retained such a virtuoso spirit as he had. For the most part, their enthusiasm for drink was adjusted to suit availability alone. Fortunato, like many, was a quack in his pretenses regarding culture and polite society. But in the matter of wines, he was sincere. In this respect, I didn't differ from him materially. I was skillful in the vintages myself, and bought largely on the thriving black market, whenever and however I could. It was a few hours before the turn of 1929, on December the 31st, during the supreme but necessarily discreet madness of New Year's Eve, that I encountered my friend. He accosted me with the excessive warmth of any vagabond rummy. The man wore a motley suit of some unseasonable summer weight, and on his head was a leftover St. Nicholas cap sporting bells, grimy from whatever sidewalk he'd surely scavenged it. I was so pleased to see him that I thought I would never be finished wringing his hand.
Mr. Clarence Montresor!
Very nice to see you, sir. Oh, and a happy new year to you as well, my dear Mr. Fortunato. Wonderful to see you looking so dapper. I hope you and your lovely wife had the merriest of Christmases. But say, where might I find our host, Mr. Lucrezi? I have an important question I need to consult with him about.
Lucrezi, the village idiot, whatever for.
Well, you see, Mr. Fortunato, I very recently acquired a case of what I was told was Amontillado.
Amontillado?
Brought over from France in a steamer trunk on a luxury liner and smuggled across 3 state lines in bottles wearing sarsaparilla labels. So I'm told. But I have my doubts.
Amontillado? An entire case? Impossible.
Well, as I say, I have my doubts. And I was overeager enough to pay the full Amontillado price without consulting you in the matter. But it's the holiday season, and I didn't take the time to call you on the telephone before committing to the purchase. I was merely fearful of losing a decent bargain.
Amontillado.
Many nagging doubts.
Amontillado.
And I must satisfy them.
Amontillado.
But I see you're otherwise engaged, Mr. Fortunato. I'll say good night to you then and go inside to look for Mr. Lucrezi myself. If anyone has a critical nose for wines, it's him.
Mr. Lucrezi couldn't tell Amontillado from a sherry.
And would you believe there are jokers who believe his taste is a match for your own?
Come along. Let's go.
Where?
To your wine cellar, of course.
Oh, goodness, no. I would never impose on your good nature. And I'm certain you have a very busy agenda this evening, New Year's Eve and all. I'll just find Mr. Lucrezi.
I have nothing in the world on my agenda. Come.
Well, you see, Mr. Fortunato, the Amontillado isn't at my townhouse. I have it stored at my family's old summer estate on the pond, an hour's drive out of the city at least. I do have the Studebaker here, but the heating attachment isn't working properly, and it's awfully cold this evening. It may snow.
We've just had a green Christmas, and it hasn't snowed a flake since then.
Well, that's quite a cough, I hear. Are you feeling unwell, Mr. Fortunato?
It's nothing. Nothing. Let's be off. Amontillado. You've been robbed, I tell you. And as for Mr. Lucrezi, he couldn't tell a sherry from Amontillado.
But the party. I can't promise we'll be back by midnight.
Damn the party and damn midnight. It always comes at the wrong time.
Well, I've excused my chauffeur for the evening and come here on my own. You'll have to trust my driving.
Now, bring the car around. Oh, never mind. I'll follow you. Amontillado, Amontillado, Amontillado.
Only a few more miles, Mr. Fortunato. You're still comfortable, I hope.
Your summer home is remote.
Indeed it is. It's where I spent my boyhood summers. The area was even more rural then. I've inherited it from my late parents. There's been little reason to come out here since their passing, now that the pond is infested with leeches and the upkeep is such a task. Still, I must say, it makes an especially fine hiding place.
For the Amontillado.
Yes, the Amontillado.
Damn.
Say, how long have you had that cough?
It's nothing, I tell you.
Now listen, I'm just going to turn the car around and take you back to the party. You shouldn't be out here, and it's my fault that you are. You're a respected and important man, admired, beloved as I once was. They're certainly missing you back now in town. We'll return. I can't have you getting sick on my account.
Enough, Mr. Montresor. It's nothing. I'm not going to die of a cough.
True. True, I didn't mean to upset you.
It could do with a bit of a nip of something.
Well, here, take my flask.
Whiskey.
Well, not the best by any means, and not scotch, I'm afraid, but it should warm you up. Finish it off if you like.
To your lifelong health.
And to yours, Mr. Fortunato. We'll be there in just a few more minutes. Well, here we are then. You'll have to forgive me. The electrical power has been turned off for the winter. Here, take my flashlight. And I'll light the old kerosene lantern if I can find it. Ah, yes, here it is.
What is this? If we just walk through a cobweb?
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't employed a caretaker out here in a year or more, and I haven't been the best caretaker myself.
Well, I drink to the spiders, no doubt, all around us.
Still working away on that flask, are you?
Well, I see this place is certainly large enough, at least. Mahogany? That can't be an antique Celeste.
The Montresors were once a powerful and numerous family.
I suppose yours is the type of clan to retain a family crest.
Indeed we are. A large human foot of gold on a field of blue. The foot crushes a serpent whose fangs are embedded in the heel.
And the motto?
Nemo me impune lacessit. No one attacks me with impunity.
Ah! Very good indeed.
Let me carry that flask for you. You look a bit unsteady. Come, the Amontillado is in the cellar. We'll need to go down. Keep a hand on the railing. The stairs are old and a bit sagging. Well, you stopped. Mr. Fortunato, is there something the matter?
I can manage both the flask and the flashlight, if you don't mind. You didn't finish the last of that whiskey, did you?
Oh, I'm afraid I might have. But here, you can try. You shake it a bit. Yes, get every last lick around the edges. Well, why did you just throw my flask, Mr. Fortunato? That belonged to my grandfather and accompanied him in the Union Army.
Listen for the knock on the door.
Well, now I'm concerned, my friend. I don't understand the very strange hand gesture you just made. Should I have?
You don't recognize it?
Well, no, I'm certain I don't.
Then you're not of the Brotherhood.
How's that?
You're not a Mason.
Oh, Yes. Yes, I am.
A sign, then. Give me a sign.
By all means. This is the sign.
Nonsense. That's a trowel. And where did it come from? Do you carry it in your overcoat everywhere you go?
Only tonight.
You're pulling my leg. But let's get to the Amontillado.
Since you insist, onward we go. But do you feel how damp it is down here, even in winter? In warmer weather, it's been known to flood. If this cellar were any closer to the pond, we'd be underneath it. Here, let me take your arm. We're nearly to the Amontillado.
Bravo.
As he wobbled and stumbled, I led him to the far, dark end of the main cellar, where waiting was a constructed cavity in the wall, the old coal cellar with the door removed. No more than 4 feet by 6 feet, with a coal chute inaccessible except from the outdoors. A coal cellar that I'd largely emptied of its contents in the days preceding to make room for other purposes.
A filthy coal cellar? You've led me here? You must have an actual wine cellar.
One and the same, my friend. Inside we go. The Amontillado awaits us. And as for Mr. Lucrezi...
He is an ignoramus.
In!
I see nothing in here but a mound of bricks. No, give me back the flashlight. I need the flashlight. What the devil? Take your hands off me. I can't see a thing. Is that a chain? Montresor! Clarence!
Just seeing to it that you're comfortable.
Unnecessary. Ah!
There. Snug as a bug.
I don't see the Amontillado.
Take a deep breath, Mr. Fortunato. I don't see the Amontillado either. But do you smell the coal dust? I agree with you. It's very grimy and damp, isn't it? I was forbidden to play here as a boy and spoil my clean clothing, but boys will be boys, won't they? Ah, well. Mr. Fortunato, can I once again implore you to return to the city? No? Then I'm afraid I simply must leave you here. But first, a bit of entertainment.
Victrola?
My parents' own, an old hand-cranked model. Dusty indeed, but I believe it still works. Now then, what do I have to offer?
The Amontillado!
Ah, Bach. True, the Amontillado. As for the bricks, you see those, don't you? I had them delivered here by truck not long ago on the notion of modernizing one of the fireplaces upstairs. But I've since found a more meaningful use for them. I don't suppose you've ever mixed mortar before, have you, Mr. Fortunato? It can be hell on the shoulders until you get it to just the right consistency.
I laid the first tier halfway into the coal cellar, allowing for a cover of coal outside the wall. In spite of the chill, I soon needed to remove my overcoat. I was perspiring from the effort. I'd scarcely finished the first tier of masonry when I noted that the intoxication of Mr. Fortunato had in large part worn off. It was not the cry of a drunken man. There was then a long and obstinate silence. I laid the second tier, and the third, and the fourth. And then I heard the furious vibrations of the chain. The noise lasted for several minutes, during which, so that I could listen to it with more satisfaction, I ceased my labors and stood listening, rapt. When finally the clanking subsided, I resumed my trowel work and finished the 5th, 6th, and 7th tiers without interruption. The wall was now level with my chest. I paused again, and holding the lantern over my mason work, threw a few feeble rays of light on my guest within.
Help me! Help me! Please!
Consulting my watch, I noted that midnight had come and surpassed us by 4 minutes. My task was drawing to a close. I had completed the 8th, 9th, and 10th tiers. I'd finished a portion of the 11th and final tier, and there remained only a single brick left to be fitted and plastered in. It somehow felt heavier than all the others. With enormous effort, I placed it partially in its destined position. But then, there came through the niche the low laugh that raised the hairs on my neck. What followed was a sad voice, which I had difficulty recognizing as that of the once mighty Theodore Fortunato.
A very good joke indeed. You're a sly one. Quite a laugh we'll have about back at the party over our wine. Yes, indeed.
The Amontillado.
Yes, the Amontillado. But isn't it approaching midnight by now? They'll be eager for a return back at Lucrezi's party. My wife waiting at home for me with a sick headache. Never mind the Amontillado. Let's be gone.
Yes, let's be gone.
For the love of God at Montresor.
Yes, for the love of God.
Having stacked coal against the new wall of Mr. Fortunato's final resting chamber, and replacing the coal cellar's door, I drove back the way I'd come, just as a light snow began falling. Soon my rural retreat would be blanketed in silent and silencing snow, even as the leeches in the pond froze in place. In pace requiescat. Back in the city, the New Year's celebration carried on as the first hint of morning lightened. In spite of the cold, the doors and windows had been opened to release a choke of cigar smoke. I got out to lean on my car as the last of the revelers crowed the sun up. It was sweet in its way, and would never be quite the same again. Nor would I.
Goodness, everyone, if you won't go home, then make yourselves comfortable somewhere, anywhere. I'm nearly asleep on my feet.
Has anybody seen my wife?
Oh, she's snoring away on the buffet. With her knickers inside out.
Say, what do you mean?
Oh, you took the high road, but she took the low road.
That's my wife you're talking about. Why, I ought to knock your lights out.
Is that so? Says who?
Says me.
Oh, yeah, put one right here.
Let me at him. Let me at him.
All right, that's enough. Wherever your wife is sleeping, I'm going to find her and join her. I'm done in, and you, both look ready to keel over yourselves.
Well then, do you suppose there's room for 3 on that buffet?
Actually, I think there might be room for 4.
Well?
Well, one more toast for the night. Mr. Fortunato's wine can't be all gone.
But Mr. Fortunato seems to be. I haven't seen him since before midnight.
Oh, I imagine he's stretched out fast asleep on the cellar floor by now, where I think he knows I keep the private drop of the Scottish whiskey he loves so much.
All right. Everyone have a glass of something. A toast, then, to 1929. I predict this will be a year of grand prosperity and success for one and all.
Hear, hear.
Mr. Lucrezi, sing for us one more time, would you?
Yes, darling.
Yes, do.
All right. Once more then to 1929. Maestro? Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
Should old acquaintance be forgot
and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
One more time.
For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of old lang syne.
The Cask of Amontillado was adapted and directed by Mayor Freed and starred Tom Champion as Mr. Montresor, Jeremy Holstein as Mr. Fortunato, Tom Russell as Mr. Lucrezi, Kitty Drexel as Mrs. Lucrezi, and Joab Dubak, Paul Dworkin, and Karen Sarrow as party guests. Our Foley team was Austin Wright and Dave Barker. Our rehearsal assistant was Jay Sakura. Our stage manager was Laurie Ann Cohen. Our sound team was Jeremy Tedisco and Jess Viator. And our producer was Krista Cow. So there you have it, dear friends. 3 dark tales and a lovely, anguished poem from the world's finest fashioner of frightful stories. We very much hope you've enjoyed yourselves. By the way, my name...
My real name is Martha Putnam Seitz. And on behalf of the Post Meridian radio players, thank you for coming. Or just listening.
We hope we'll see you right back here next Halloween for our next tour of the Macabre. I'll be here, I will. After all, I live here. In the meantime, I hope you sleep well. Not too many nightmares, just the right number and intensity to keep you on edge and thinking how safe you feel until nightfall. And remember, at this library, you can request as many renewals as you like, but there's one due date that you'll never escape. Good night.
It is so satisfying when the unjust get their comeuppance. One might even say it has been my life's work. Next time it will be our season finale, an original work by playwright Kevin Cordis called The Renegotiation. I may or may not play a role in the tale. If you like what you hear, you can check out more from the PMRP, including upcoming performances and auditions at their website, pmrp.org, or their Bandcamp store, pmrp.bandcamp.com.
Please support this podcast by giving us a review or recommend it to your friends.
Very good, child. Until next time, my darlings, I will see you in your dreams.
This has been a production of the Post Meridian Radio Players, copyright 2024. All rights reserved. For more information about our group, please visit www.pmrp.org.